Hello everyone, welcome to Clawton Simulations. This is my first video, and today we're going to be in X-Plane 11 doing a short hop from Leeds Bradford to London Gatwick, and we're going to be flying in the Zibo 737 in this lovely 100th anniversary BOAC livery for British Airways. So let's hop in the cockpit and get everything set up. So let's just get the cockpit door closed while they're making all that noise in there. Getting everything set up. Okay, let's go to the tablet, connect the GPU, come up here and get the battery on, ground power on. Let's get some panel lights on, emergency exit lights on, let's get some seatbelt signs on. Fuel pump on for the APU when we get that started in a bit. Let's go up to the IRS display and set those to nav so they can start aligning. 9 minutes. Back to here, let's check what we've got. Position light can come on to steady, and we'll leave that for now. Come down here. Right, let's get the FMC set up. So, position today we are at EGNM, Leeds Bradford. Now the gate we are at is currently gate 10. We'll set our IRS position. So, the route today, origin is Leeds Bradford, and we are travelling to Gatwick, EGKK. Our flight number is 2801, and the active runway today is 14. So, next page, let's get up my flight plan in AviTab. Actually, one thing we should do while we're doing this is set up some fuel. So ground services, it's not in there, is it? It's fuel weight and balance, payload. So fuel, we're going to take 7,000 kilos today, so a bit more than our block. Our block today is 6356, so we'll take 7,000 just in case. Let's set that in. And the passengers today, we're taking 120. So we'll just type 120, switch that to passengers, click enter, and it will calculate all that for us. That's fine. So let's call the fuel truck and get that filling up. Right, back to the FMC. So, it's back here, isn't it? Okay. So today we are doing the Pole Hill to X-ray departure from Leeds, runway 14. Going to route, activate that, execute. And then we will go to our legs page, so to Pole and then direct to Manchester. So we'll plug that in on the right, and it is the top one. Execute. Then direct to Listo. Bang that in there. Then P18, Papa 18 to Staffer. Then Lima 8 to Hotel Oscar November. Yep, next page, November 859. To Kidley. and then we have our arrival into Gatwick, which is the Willow 3 Bravo arrival. That may change when we get closer, but we're running X-Life today, so I will file this flight plan in a minute after I've done this, and we'll see when we get closer to Gatwick. We'll get a message telling us the runway in use and our arrival. So we'll put in Willow for now, and see what happens. So Willow 3 Bravo, and that'll be ILS on runway 26 left, and our transition to Willow. So we'll execute that. Go back to the route page. Is this all? Yeah. Okay. So if we go to the legs, that should all be in all right. Well, once the IRS is aligned, we will step through that on the screen here. Okay, good, right. So, route, let's do our performance. Reserves today is 0.7, sorry, yeah, 0.7. Our cost index is 6, which is just it's a standard cost index. It's used by a few European carriers, so yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter too much for a desktop sim. Right, our cruise wind is, well, we'll do our cruise altitude today is flight level 190. We'll bang that in, and our cruise wind today is 263 at 041. So 263. 3%. That should be fine. 263 after 041. Bang that in. And our ISO deviation is positive 6. So go there. Transition altitude 5,000. That's fine. Execute that. One more limit. Selected. Take off. So we'll go to flaps 5. V1, V rotate, V2. Our trim is 4.5. Okay. Right, so let's just put our trim in down here. 5. And set up the MCP. So our V2 speed is 142. The runway heading, let me just check this for runway 14, which is our departure runway, is 139. So we will set that on the course, and we'll also set it on our heading. Our stop altitude on the departure is a bit far, 7,000 feet. So that's fine. We'll put our flight directors on. Into throttle, VNav, LNav won't engage right now. That's okay. I think that's because of the IRS. Right. So that's all fine. So we'll set up our fixed page now. So put in Gatwick, and we'll go 5 miles, 10 miles, 25 miles. Okay, so let's stick that to climb. Stick first officers on progress. Let's just check. The IRS is aligned now, so we can actually step through the legs and make sure everything is okay. So if we stick this to plan, step through, it's good. Top of climb just after Manchester, Staffer, okay. Descending down, and then we've got this approach onto the runway, and we will probably fly that full transition when we get to Gatwick, because obviously we could vector ourselves on, but it's kind of fun to just fly around, and we don't have ATC obviously today, we're flying offline, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's go back to map. I'm just going to set up a few more lights here, so let's get the main panel lights on, and down on the pedestal let's get the lights on, and first officer's side might as well get the lights on as well. Okay, right, so next thing to do, let's just have a look around. Let's set the auto brake to RTO. Let's go up here. We should probably start our boarding now. So if we go to ground service, no, where is it? I always forget. I always get confused on this tablet. No, it's start flight leg, isn't it? So that will start our passengers boarding. Can hear the boarding music now. Right, let's just go up here, check we've got everything. Let's get all our hydraulics on. Let's get our window heat on. Let's get the APU started now, actually. Now we've got passengers boarding. Let's get all our fuel pumps on. Let's set our pressurization. So our cruising altitude is 190. Our landing altitude today, if I just check on AviTab airports, EGKK, Gatwick, elevation 195. So we just set that to, we round that up to 200. That's good. Right. The APU is starting up, we can see that. Let's get our yaw damper on, trim air can come on as well. Right, so there we go, we can get the APU on the bus, ground power can come off now. We can go to here and ground services. We can disconnect the GPU. Good, we don't need that anymore. Right, we can bring the packs on now, so they have some air conditioning back there. APU bleed come on. Yeah, everything else looks good there. Right, we should probably go to X-Life and file that flight plan. I don't normally put in a full route here. We don't need to bother with that. We'll just so we get some information when we get to Gatwick. So there we go, that's fine. So then if we go to X-Life, tool info, departure info, should pop up. I've done something wrong there. Maybe I'll just wait for this to disappear and then I'll try it again. Ah, here we go. Takeoff 14, yeah, taxi route from gate 10, so 8, 14, so we taxied down the runway actually at Leeds, and then we turn around via Echo at the end, we come back round and then we take off. So that's fine. Right, so all that's set up. Don't need to worry about any of that down there because we're flying offline. Okay, so I think we can go to and request our pushback.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So we can see the pushback trucks connecting up. Let's head back into the cockpit, and we should set our altimeter. Let me just check the pressure on Leeds at the moment, the Leeds meter.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
111008. That's fine. Okay. So I think we're ready. Let me just get my checklist up for pushback. Yep. Yep. Engine start. I don't need the checklist for that. I can remember all that. I'll just get the before taxi checklist up. So I think we are ready to start our pushback. So let's get the anti-collision light on and release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, so we're moving. Let's get the packs off. APU bleed is on.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
That's good. I don't need anything right now, but that's good. So, engine started to ground. Come down here. When we get 25% here, we will add fuel. There we go. Fuel. Let's go back in. Wait for it to click off, and then we'll start the second engine number 1. You see, we've got Jet 2 737 taxiing over there to runway. By the looks of things, it's clicking off. Let's start engine number 1. Set that on climb so we can see our nav engage now. Yes, it will. Got to remember to do that. The other day I had a bit of an issue where VNav actually wouldn't engage after takeoff.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Set parking brake. Yeah, VNav wouldn't engage after takeoff.
Disconnecting
and
toes. Stand by.
I wasn't sure exactly what was going on, and I had to kind of fly altitude manually. So yeah, that was all a bit weird, but it's not happened today, thankfully. We've got them both engaged, ready to activate once we've taken off. So both the engines are sorted there, so we will switch the starters to continuous. We'll come up here, get the packs back on for the passengers, disconnect. APU bleed can come off, and we can switch over onto the engines. APU off. Isolation valve auto, probe heat on. Just have a scan over. I think that's everything. Come to the checklist. Gens, probe heat,
Toe is
wing anti-ice.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Ground equipment clear. Yeah, take off flaps. Right, so take off flaps on 5 today. So 1, 2, 3. Flight controls. Okay, let's get this up on the screen now. Which one is it? There. Hold on. I can't see it. Systems. Yeah, systems. So we'll go full forward, centre, full back, centre, full left, centre, full right, centre, left rudder, right rudder. It's all good. So we will blank the lower DU, and that's all good. So we are ready for taxi. So let's just get some taxi lights on. Let's put the runway turn lights on now as well. Don't set the strobe lights on just yet. Wait until we enter the runway. Okay, so let's get moving. So parking brake can come off. And a bit of throttle. And we'll start a taxi. So we're gonna, it's a very simple taxi here at Leeds really. We just follow Alpha straight on. When we reach the runway, we're going to take a right onto the runway, taxi up the runway, and then take a right off the runway around Echo, and do a loop round, and then we'll line up and be ready for takeoff. The 737 there by the looks like it. And the sun is just starting to set. So obviously if we were flying with ATC now on VATSIM, we would not be entering this runway without checking
approaching 1-4
where any planes landing or taking off. But just before we enter, let's just set our strobe lights to on. We don't need logo lights. Yeah, set the strobe lights to on because we're entering an active runway, and that's what we should do.
On runway 700 feet remaining.
So we're looping around here on Echo. Trying to just keep the speed down a little bit so I don't go flying off this corner. And before we enter the runway, let's get our landing lights on. That's good.
Approaching 1-4.
Came a bit wide there, but it's alright, we've got plenty of space. So let's check out onto the runway. Everything's clear. And we're probably just going to do a bit of a rolling takeoff here. We don't need to stop. I imagine we've already given our takeoff clearance.
1-4.
So let's get lined up on the centre line. It's pretty good. 40%. Stabilised. And hit the toggle button. Takeoff thrust is set. Just strain away from the centre line a little bit there. Let's just try and get us back to centre. 80 knots, release forward pressure on the control column.
B1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. We'll just try to keep on the magenta cross here on our screen, so we know we're following the path.
1,000.
1,000 feet. I will engage the autopilot, command A. Engage VNAV. Not sure why that disengaged there. I think it might have actually been because I knocked the throttle there on takeoff to press Toby again. Right, okay, so we are climbing out, everything looks good, so let's do our after takeoff checklist. So gear into off, auto brake into off, engine start switches can go to auto. Leave our lights on for now. We can turn our taxi lights off. We should have turned them off earlier, really. Let's just check. Autopilot. Yep. Okay. So our climb and cruise. Yes. So our transition altitude is 5,000 feet. So we'll wait until we've reached that. So we are currently flying this transition, but I will probably redirect us straight to Pole Hill waypoint. Let me just have a look at these. So yeah, if I just get rid of that. So I'll imagine that if we had ATC, we would potentially get cleared to this. So just set the altimeter now. So I'll go Pole Hill, set that, execute that, and then go altitude into M. And let's get this up to our cruising altitude, which is 190. Good, everything's looking good. We've still got that steep descent after May. Not entirely sure why it's doing that, but we should be fine. We'll just keep an eye on that when we get to our descent. I just realised I completely forgot about our flaps. There's always something you forget about, isn't there? That's fine. Right, let's just get the landing lights off now. We don't really need those. Now we're climbing to our cruise. So, yeah. Everything feels pretty smooth right now, so I'll just put the seatbelts on auto for now. We'll wait till we get to our cruise to turn them off fully, because it's not going to be far away. It's only 190, so we should be there shortly. I'll just give that a tick. Altimeter set, cross-checked, fine. Yeah, there we go. So, climb to cruise. So everything is looking good so far. I like seeing the airports. I think the weather's good, but we'll get the weather radar on anyway. It's looking reasonably clear at the moment. Let's see out here. Hopefully it's we'll get a nice sunset on this route. I think it's about a 50-minute airtime flight, so we should see the sunset before we get to Gatwick. So you can see we're turning now. We're not far away from our top of the climb. Just passing through 15,500 feet. Zoom out. We can kind of see our route. Looking good. Looking down over Yorkshire. Lovely. I do enjoy flying this plane.
1,000 to go.
and it's free, which makes it even better. And if you don't have the Zibo mod, I strongly recommend that you download it for X-Plane. It really is unparalleled. There is no better representation of a 737 in a flight simulator, in my opinion. It's just fantastic, and it's free. So go and download it if you haven't already. So we've reached our cruise. If we go to the cruise page here, we can see we have 106 nautical miles to our top of descent, 105 now. So yeah, we're just going to sit back, relax, everything looks good, and I'll let you guys enjoy the view. So guys, we are back. We're not quite at our top of descent yet. We are 43 nautical miles away, but we've just got our arrival info, and thankfully we are. It's the same runway that we had planned in our arrival already. So 26 ILS 26 left. So what we are going to do is go to the unit ref page, and we're going to sort out our approach reference. So we're going to do flaps 30 landing today, so 141 knots, flaps 30 degrees, plug that in there. ILS for runway 26 left at Gatwick is 110.9, so we're going to put that in down here on our nav radios, active, and on the first officer side as well. So they're both active. The course for the runway is 258. So let's set that on our courses. And on the first officer side, 258. Okay, so that is all set up. I can tick this. We've done our route for arrival. I'm going to just check on the meter for Gatwick right now. So currently 10:30 in Gatwick, which is standard, so that's set. And also, what else was I going to do? There was something else. Oh yeah, the minimums. So if I just check on the chart here, our minimums are 396. Sorry about that, guys. I should have probably checked that beforehand. So No, wrong one. So what did I say? 396. So I will set that too far. These are really sensitive little dials, these. So that's saying 396. So good, we are ready for our descent. So if I just go onto the descent page, cruise page. So we've got 18 nautical miles. So yeah, let you enjoy the view again for a bit more, and I'll be back when we reach our top of the descent. Okay guys, so we are 10 nautical miles away. I'm going to dial down our altitude, ready for the top of the descent, so I'm going to dial that down to 7,000 feet for now. Bring it lower once we get closer. Obviously, normally once we got to Willow Waypoint, we would have been vectored by ATC, but we're going to be flying the transition, so to be honest, I could put it down to 2,000 now, which is the height at which we'll intercept our glide slope for 2.6 left, but I'll just leave it on 7,000 for now. Yeah. So we are now 6 nautical miles away, very close. I will get the seatbelt signs back on, ready for the descent, and yeah. So you can see actually the sun, it hasn't quite set yet, but it will have done by the time we get to Gatwick. So yeah, it's looking very nice outside. You can see, well, I mean, the edge of London is kind of over there. So yeah, we're getting close now. If I zoom out a little bit, wrong way, you can see we're still quite away from the first fixed ring, which is 25 nautical miles. But yeah, and now it's just clicked over to descent, and you can see here our altitude indicator is showing that we have started our descent down towards Gatwick. So if I come over to checklist page, descent, so landing altitude we have verified, that is up there, it was 200 feet, I think it was 195 actually, so recall, check, approach trace paid, we've done our VREF, set our mins, set our ILS frequency, auto brake, we'll go auto brake 2, it's a very long runway at Gatwick, so we don't need any more than that. The descent check is complete, good, so that's set out to approach, we don't quite need to look at that yet. You can see, actually it's quite windy in there. Well, I'd say quite windy, it's a little windy. We're getting slightly buffeted here by the wind there. Nothing that the autopilot can't handle, but yeah, so should be fine though. I'm not sure what the surface winds at Gatwick are like at the moment, but should be alright for a nice smooth landing hopefully. So we've actually received our arrival instructions now from X-Life. So we have a taxi route and a stand 52 when we arrive into Gatwick. So it's good. We are holding at the moment at 150. You can see here on the screen that we're about to reach our top of descent for flight level 150, and then we will descend further down as we start our transition and line up on our ILS. So I will change our altitude soon. So when we start descending, I'll probably put it straight down to 2,000 feet, which is the altitude that we intercept our glide site. So yeah, you can see here, we can see the south coast. So I'm not entirely sure what those places will be. It'll be Brighton and places like that. You know, Portsmouth, Southampton. They might be a bit further along actually, but yeah. And if you look over here, you can kind of see the lights of London. A bit of cloud, but yeah, we can see a bit of it out there. Should be able to see Heathrow actually as we come over. Could be there, could be potentially. It's a bit cloudy at the moment, so I'm not too sure. That could actually be Gatwick. We might have already passed Heathrow. But yeah, we are making our descent, so I will see you shortly as we get closer. So we have just passed the Willow waypoint, and actually at this point I am going to fly us direct to May. It just makes a bit more sense. It's slightly more direct. You can't really tell when I zoom out, but yeah, just so we're not waiting quite as long. We are at 4,000 feet now at the moment. When we get to May, we begin a descent to 2,000, which is when we intercept which is the altitude in which we intercept the glide slope on. And we're still getting this steep descent thing. Hopefully that should be fine. I'll just use some speed brake. We should be alright. It's only 2,000 feet, so yeah. Yeah, we can see the scenery out here. It's very nice. The sun has set now, so it is a dark approach. You can see Gatwick over there to our left. We zoom in. You can see the runway. Oh, sorry about that. Yep, we can see the runway. And we will be there in less than 10 minutes. So we have reached May and we are beginning our descent now down to 2,000 feet. I'm just going to add some speed brake, and also I will go to our VNAV. I'm going to bug our flap up speed. It should be fine there. We can see our altitude seems to be coming down nicely. Just go to vertical speed, actually. See if that makes more difference. This is quite steep. It should be fine like that.
$2,500.
So there's the airport, and we're going to make a left turn onto the runway heading. It's coming down now to 2,000 feet, so that looks like we should be fine by the time we reach here. We should be at 2,000 feet, not a problem. Here we are levelling off, so actually I'm going to kill the speed brake now. Just put that in the arm position, ready for when we land. Just see the glow of the sun a little bit there actually. So we're about to make our left turn. We're actually going to stick our landing lights on now, ready, and tick that off. So we come to landing ILS and we get ready to arm our localizer after we make this turn. So here we go, banking into the turn. You see the waiting for the pink diamond to turn solid, and then we can press VOR lock. So as we're coming around, there we go, it's gone solid now, so we'll press VOR lock and it should lock us on to the runway heading. You can see the runway there. And I'm actually going to now select flaps. Let's go straight to flaps 5. I'm going to bug down to the flaps 5 speed, which is there. And we can see the runway in the distance. Looks good. So localizer is captured. Glide slope is not alive yet. We haven't quite come up underneath it. So this should make for a nice landing. Hopefully. Here we go. So we've got pink diamond now, so we can click approach. Single channel, locked onto the glide slope, so now we can go gear down and flaps 15, 10, 15. I'm just going to zoom in here on the screen. When we get to there, I'm going to select flaps 30, bug us down to flaps 15 speed. And we're a little high on the glide slope. That's probably just the speed. There we are, we're coming back onto it now. So let's go flaps 25, 30, and let's do VREF plus 5, which is 146. Excellent. So, yeah, flat lever, yeah. Engine start switch is to continuous. Speed brakes armed. Illuminated there. That's good. Next page. Flat lever as directed. Mr. Approach altitude is set 2,000 feet. Excellent. So here we are, beginning our descent. So I will probably take manual control
1,000
from the
1,000
minimum.
feet, stabilize Mr. Approach altitude set.
See, it's a little bit up and down on the glide slope, but it should be okay. I'll just keep an eye on that and make sure I don't need to take control. Just a little bit of wind, I think maybe, or the power, I'm not too sure.
Approaching 26 left.
So I can see the minimums approaching, so I'm getting ready to take control.
300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continuing. I have manual control.
100.
So we're a little bit high
50.
here.
40.
That's
30.
very high there.
10.
Power.
10.
Ooh, that was a bit of a bounce there. No problem. And we're down. Okay, full reverse thrust. The best landing in the world, but we're down, no problem. So, passing through 70 knots, I'll release the reverse thrust and go to manual braking. And we can take this exit here. So like that, and we are down, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to London Gatwick. So we're gonna taxi off here, and then we're actually gonna turn onto
Approaching
26.
08 left.
Well, it's saying 08, but we're gonna go up 08. Sorry, we're gonna turn onto 08 and taxi up the runway, which I've done before. I've been
On
told to do
runway
this before on VATSIM.
08
So,
left. Flaps.
I think
Flaps.
it's a procedure that is done. Right, we're going to bring our flaps all the way up. Speed brake now. It's disarmed. We can turn off our landing lights. Get our taxi lights on. Let's start up the APU. We'll leave our strobes on for now because we are actually taxiing on a runway, even though it's not an active runway at the moment. So. So we're going to take a left here onto Romeo. It's braking before we make the turn. Left here onto Romeo. And taxi up here. All the way to the top. Okay, so we are turning onto Lima now, turning right. There we can see the iconic bridge. Goes over the taxiway. The stand is just up here on the left after this EasyJet. I think it's the third stand along after the bridge. This one now, I think, that we can see on our left. So, turning in. Before we make our turn in, let's just turn off our taxi and run my turn off lights, just so we don't blind anyone who might be on the ground. Ooh, we took that a little bit wide. Should be okay there. We'll bring it back round. Got more power. Oh, come on. There we go. Just line it up. Zoom in a bit so we can see the display to tell us when to stop. Did get the right stand, 52, it says it on the sign there. A little bit further. Taking it nice and slow, don't want to overshoot. Come on, nearly there. There we go, stop. Parking brake set. And there we go. So we can switch power over to the APU. And we can kill the engines. So, that concludes my first video. I hope you enjoyed that flight. Quite a nice little section there between Leeds and Gatwick. If you like what you saw, please subscribe for more. I'm sure there'll be more coming soon. So thank you very much everyone. Goodbye.